Today we're going to have a look at the GST, or as it's known overseas in some countries, the VAT, the value added tax. But before we do that, we're just going to recap percentage application. So this is a recap reviewing what we have done prior to this. Now a percentage increase, we can do it a couple of ways, but suggesting we add the percent increase to 100%, then we multiply the above percentage by the amount. If you want to decrease it, we subtract the percent decrease from 100% and multiply the answer by the amount. And so it's a very good way of doing it. Our first one, calculating percentage change. Retail price of a toaster is to be increased by 5%. What is the new price? So new price, we are going to have 100 plus 5% times 36 equals 105 divided by 100 times 36, and that is going to come to $37.80. So that is simply what we're going to do for our consecutive percentage changes. So we're going to do two things. First, we're going to increase it by 20, then we're going to decrease it by 20. So increasing it by 20, so our first amount, call it our increase, equals, so we have got $75 times 100 plus 20%, or 75 times 120 divided by 100, which is equal to $90. Now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease it. So if we decrease, we're going to start off with $90. So we've got 90 times 100 minus 20% equals 90 by 80 divided by 100, and that is going to give us $72. So as we can see, if we increase something by 20% and then decrease it by 20%, we end up with less than we started with. And that is because the decrease of 20% is worked out on a bigger number. So it is a bigger value because we started off at 90 instead of 75. So we subtract less than when we add. Okay, but that's a good thing to remember. Now, a percentage change. So this was our net change, or could be a net change. A percentage change is a change in value on the original value times 100%. So we did review that a lesson or two ago. Let's have a look at these. John's weight. So it's going to increase from 64 to 68, percentage increase. So percentage increase equals then my change over the original by 100%. My change is from 64 to 68. For originally he was 64 by 100%. We're going to keep our percent this time. And that is a grand total of 2.56%. It hasn't told me how many decimal points, so I'm just going to leave it at 2.56. Now I've got a value of a car decreasing. Calculate percentage decrease. So my percentage decrease is going to be equal to, once again, my change over the original. And my change is it's going from 18,500 to 14,900. So I can actually write that up the top if I want. That's the change. And the original amount is 18,500. So my change is percentage increase, etc. 19.4% decrease. Okay, calculating profit or loss and percentage profit or loss. So we've got a 2005 West Tiger jersey purchased for $800. So it was bought or paid equals $800, and it was sold for 1040. It says calculate the percentage profit. So the profit is what we bought it for, the cost minus sold, so selling price minus cost is our profit. So 1040 minus 800. So the actual profit amount was 240. We want our percentage cost. So a percentage profit is going to be that profit, much the same, change 240 on the original price, 800 times 100%. We don't put the percent in our calculator, we want our answer to be percent. And so that is a change over original. It's a change of 30%. All right, so that was A. B is our loss. A drone was purchased for 480, sold for 360, calculate the percentage loss. So the loss in the first place, loss equals what we sold it for minus the cost in negative numbers, but we're just going to go with our loss is what we bought it for. If we call it a loss, bought minus sold. And so as a loss, it's 480 minus 360. So we lost $120. As we know, loss is, and you've got a negative sign, percentage loss. Percentage equals our change again over our original by 100%. So 120, this time it cost us 480 by 100% is equal to 25%. Okay, that might be the end of our, yes, that's the end of our revision on percentages. Now let's have a look at our goods and services tax. So in Australia, we call the tax a goods and services tax. And so Australian government collects a tax when people purchase goods and services. The tax is called the GST. It's 10% of the pre-tax price of the item. There are exceptions for basic food items and some medical expenses. So to calculate the GST, we find 10% of the pre-tax price, 10% of the cost, so to speak. To calculate the total cost of an item, we add the GST to the pre-tax price. We pay the pre-GST price plus GST. Alternatively, if we find 110% of the pre-tax price, so either add 10% or find 110%, multiplied by 110%. To calculate the pre-tax price, given the total cost of an item, we would need to divide it by 110. Let's just some examples and see what that means. So here we go. We've got John buying a ticket with a pre-tax price of $142. So this is before tax. Pre-tax equals 142. To see a concert in the Sydney Olympic Stadium, he's also required to pay 10% GST. Okay, so how much GST is payable? GST is equal to 142 by 10% equals 142 by 10 divided by 100 equals $14.20. What was the total cost of his ticket, including GST? Well, in this case, we're just going to add the two of them together. So our total cost is equal to our pre-tax cost plus our GST plus our tax. So 142 plus 1420 is equal to $156.20. Okay, so then our next thing we are being asked to do is what was the pre-tax price for a ticket if the final price of the ticket was $149.60. Now, the final price, the best way to do this, it does say divide the total cost by 110%, and we will do that. But the best way to do this, actually we can do that, is to find the unitary cost, but that is the same sort of thing. So we are going to, what we recognise is that cost, 149, I have no idea how to get back. Here we go. 149.60 is equal to 110%. So 1%, if we use the unitary method, is going to be equal to 149.60 divided by 110. And so if we do that, which is dividing by 110%, then our 1% is $1.36. And so 100%, which is our price before, is $1.36 times 100 equals 136. Now, that's very similar to what they're telling us to do. What they're telling us to do is divide by 110%. So if we divide by 110%, we're actually dividing by 110 divided by 100, which is equal to 149.60 divided by 1.1. And if we do that, we will also get 136. This unitary method, I think, is the best and easiest way to keep in our head how to find solutions. All right, let's have a look at this one up here. It's called the VAT. In some countries, the GST is called the value added tax. The rate of the value added tax ranges from 2% to 25%. The calculations for the VAT are the same for the GST, except the rate is different. So here it says the same thing as it said in our GST box, exactly. So let's find the VAT. Singapore's got the VAT at 5%. She's bought a microwave in Singapore for $275 plus her VAT. Same as last time. VAT is equal to our pre-tax price times the VAT percent. So it is pre-tax 275 times, now VAT is 5%, so it's 5 divided by 100, and the answer we are going to get is 1375. So our second one, total cost, we're just adding those two together. Cost or total cost, T cost is equal to 275 plus 13.75 is equal to 288.75. Now the next one it's asked us for the pre-tax price of another microwave. The final price is $672. So remember, 672 is equal to this 100% plus 5% is equal to 105%. So 1% is going to be equal to 672 divided by 105 is equal to $6.40. So 100%, which is our price, is equal to $6.40. 40 times 100 equals $640. Now that is all we are going to look at today. We'll move on to simple interest tomorrow.